The next page I want to talk about, the recruiting process has obviously changed. Gone are the days of delivering paper resumes in the mail and letters and trying to make contacts that way. Getting online and having all of your information able to be viewed online is the future. And you know, the great thing with AIMHI Incorporated is we've had that technology, we've increased it and taken it to the next level, and we are the future. And one thing I like to take into consideration, student athletes need to be in contact with 200 schools immediately. I mean, they have to do this immediately. And, you know, the days of old, if they wanted to send a letter to each one of those schools, just talking about his or herself, and, you know, keep in mind there's no DVD, no footage, nothing else but just some words on a piece of paper to let that college know that they exist, they're not going to have to do that one time. They're going to need to send a letter to each university multiple times. So if a student athlete wanted to send a letter 5 different times to 200 schools, just 44 cents a stamp. That family's investment, total stamp investment alone, is $440. So once again, this is another great tool that for $500 to have it all in the home, and we've gone through and we're all familiar with the process and all the tools and the complete resource center that the family and athletes have available in their home, to have that for $500 as opposed to this page just broken out on a financial example, obviously makes perfect sense. The value of AIMHI's program exceeds the cost over and over and over. I can talk about it time and time again, and I know we all agree with that, but that is the foundation of what we do, why we are such a success, why we are growing as rapid as we are, and once again, why we're changing the way that the recruiting game is done for high school student athletes across the nation. The next sheet that I like to share with the student athletes and their families, these are AIMHI averages. The average freshman that enrolls in our program graduates in approximately 1,200 days. Now, the original $1,595 cost, keep in mind, that's what these numbers are justified and based on. And we're going to get back to that $1,595. We're just having a promotion right now. So I want you to get used to that $1,595 because that's going to be your foundation and your selling point as far as value and cost go for the program, you know, for the future. Taking that $1,595, an average daily investment for the average freshman that enrolls into AIMHI's program is $1.42 a day. Sophomore, $1.86. Junior, $2.74. Senior, $5.40. Obviously, it starts to get a little, you know, pricier at the senior level. But this just goes to show once again that the cost of the program is extremely affordable. I mean, for the price of a pop, or however you want to break it down in realistic terms, to make it make more sense, feel free to do so. Once again, just another great tool to talk about how much the value of the program exceeds the cost. Going to the next sheet, you're just going to see plain and simple right there in black and white. It says you need a plan of attack right now. And what this is, when you're going to have an appointment and you're in someone's home and you know that you have this appointment in the evening, and I talked about it before in the training segment when it came to the actual training manual, and I want to touch on it again for you. When I walk into a home and I'm meeting with a student athlete, I always know how many people are going to be there because I want to be able to print that plan of attack and go to my desk, pull up that file, print the student athlete's name right under plan of attack, and I want a copy for each person that's going to be present in the room during my presentation. I simply am going to hand each person in the room a plan of attack, and we're going to read through it together. And I'm just going to start at the top, and I'm going to read through each thing. And when it comes to the percentages and you know the opportunities and possibilities that the athlete has outside of the Division I, I'm going to stress those things. Once we read through that, I'm going to have everyone flip to the next page. This whole presentation, excuse me, from page 1 to the plan of attack right now is about the program, the process, getting exposure, getting online, how we've changed the game, how we are way ahead of the curve, how AIMHI is creating a new process that is none easier when it comes to connecting the student athlete to the college coach and vice versa. You know, this talks about you now must get online. You need to target 100 to 200 realistic opportunities. I'm reading these sections out loud, okay? Reading these sections out loud with the parents and the athlete in the living room. And last but not least, and I'm going to read this out loud here, you know, just for training purposes, you need to follow the plan. You need to successfully navigate through the recruiting process. You do this by following the plan. To do it right, it takes hard work, perseverance, and a consolidated team effort between you, your parents, coaches, guidance counselors, and an inside credible recruiting expert such as AIMHI Incorporated. At the conclusion of this, I'm going to simply look the student athletes and the parents right in the eye and ask them this simple question. Mom, Dad, athlete, what do you think? one of two things are going to happen. They're either going to be all in and they're going to want a breakdown of the cost, or they're going to need some time to think about it or have some questions for you. Whatever those questions may be, you're going to go ahead and answer those questions. And maybe after answering those questions, you might need to say, so would you like to pay all up front, $1,595? The number one question you're going to get at the completion of this is, well, we like it. Dave, how much is it? I'm glad you asked. The price of our program is a one-time fee of $1,595. Is that something you would like to pay for now? It's that simple. Let them make the decision. Well, absolutely. We'd like to do that. Do you take cash, check, charge? We take all forms of payment, which I've covered with you all. Or, you know what, that's a little much for us right now. We're definitely interested. Let me ask you this, Mom, Dad, Anthony, do you guys see the value in the program? Putting cost aside, is this something that you would definitely like to get enrolled in with price not being an issue? 99% of the time, absolutely, Dave, we would love to. Well, let me share this with you, Mom, Dad, Athlete. We've got a 0% interest program where we take the $1,595. We have a one-time fee of $199 that gets added to that. You have to put a minimum of that $199 down. You can always put down more, but the minimum requirement is the $199. That brings you back to an original balance of $1,595. We divide that over 12 months, no interest, everyone's accepted, there's no credit application involved, and it leaves you 12 easy payments of $132. Does that make sense, and does that plan seem more to fit the family's needs at this particular point in time? Stop. Let them answer. 99% of the time, absolutely. Even more than that, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to put more than the $199 down. Then from there, it's simple math. You have your sheet, and you're going to break out the contract, and you're going to work it from there. I want to close this session. My next video I'd like to show you is going to be on the actual student-athlete enrollment packet. So let's get into that.